Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this. This is Kocosports.net presenting Wrestle AM. That's half wrestling show, half morning show, pretty much all bullshit. I'm your host, LK from Kocosports.net. Obviously, welcoming you to today's edition of Wrestle AM for the 6th of February 2017. It's crazy how quick this year has gone. I'm going to cover Monday Night Raw, review that show, talk about a bit of news that's gone on today. Again, a bit of a dull news since last Friday. The Rock and Roll Express are in the Hall of Fame. What else have it will be inducted in anyway, joining Kurt Angle for this year's class. What else have we got? We're going to talk about Randy Orton versus John Cena, possibly not happening on SmackDown. Now, I'm using a dirt sheet that I don't normally use to find this. That's how low I had to sink. And also TNA Viewership, because I didn't really talk about it on Sunday's edition of Wrestle AM, which I should have, and apologies for that. But we're going to get down to breaking down Monday Night Raw as usual, guys. Put in the comments, do you give this show a win? Do you give the show a loss? Do you give this show a tie? And I'm going to get down straight away breaking this one down. The show starts off with Mick Foley and Stephanie. They bring out Samoa Joe to sign his Monday Night Raw contract. Stephanie basically buries Foley, saying, look, I done your job for you. Foley doesn't like Joe, not because of the fact he doesn't like Joe, because of who he aligned himself with. Joe says it took him 18 years to get here, and whoever gave him the chance, because it wasn't you, Mick, whoever gave me that chance, whoever opened the door for me, is the man/person I will be loyal to. Reigns comes out, they have a stare down, they have a promo war. It leads to an announcement of the main event between Roman Reigns and Samoa Joe. It was okay. It was good seeing Samoa Joe in a suit, I guess. That was pretty badass. Foley doing this babyface, I'm sorry, but I don't like who you aligned with, and Stephanie being a heel. I think they need to do that a lot more. I think Stephanie needs to be the heel, and Foley needs to be the babyface properly, not swerving the lines like Foley swerving the lines into heel territory when he was, talking about Sami Zayn being, not good enough. Don't do that. Foley is the babyface. Stick him as the babyface and stick to it. Stephanie should be the heel. She comes out doing all these on-screen gimmicks where she's doing, like, as great as it is, the charity work, as great as it is, there is no need for a heel to be doing that on television. It's all well and good do it. She can do it. And, praise to her for what she does. But damn it to God, it doesn't need to be on television. And that just annoys me. Anyway, we go to opening match, Bayley versus Nia Jax. It was basically to promote Bayley versus Charlotte for the women's title, and that takes next week. And did you know it took place next week's Raw? It takes place in Vegas. Every fucking time. It's Monday Night Raw next week in Vegas. As I'm looking forward to Monday Night Raw next week in Vegas. Did you know that? I'm shocked we didn't get a WWE Did You Know banner with fucking Monday Night Raw comes to Vegas next week. Jesus, are ticket sales down or something? Jesus wept. So Charlotte comes out. Jax hits the Samoan drop to get the win, and after the match, Charlotte interfered basically for allow Jax to get the win, and then causing Bayley to lose. It was an alright match. It done its job, which is set up next week's Raw happening in Vegas between Charlotte and Bayley. The reason Bayley has this championship match is it because she won in a 6-man tag last week that involved Charlotte. Maybe. I have no idea anymore. I couldn't give a rat's ass, and I didn't give my win, loss, or tie. I gave it a weak tie. A very weak tie. I'm feeling very generous right now. It was just pointless. Like, that was the women's segment of the night. That was the women's match of the night. There was one women's segment after this. What a waste of time. So you had Nia Jax defeating the number one contender. I don't know what's going on anymore. You had Braun Strowman going back to what he did before, defeating 4 jobbers. This was a squash match. Strowman squashed, basically pinned 3 guys at once. The other guy ran away. They were trying to be funny in a Braun Strowman match. And sadly, it does not work, as you can imagine. It's just pointless. What is the point of trying to be funny during a serious man squash? Imagine back in WCW in 97, 98 when Goldberg was squashing people left, right, and center, and they were trying to throw a bit of comedy in there. It just wouldn't work. It's silly. Then backstage, you have Strowman. He finds Foley. He moans about, not having competition again. Foley makes Strowman versus Reigns at Fastlane. And the reason was because he wants competition. Why doesn't Titus O'Neil go up to Foley and say, Foley, I need competition? Why doesn't the Shining Stars go up to Foley and say, hey, I need competition? Jesus, why didn't Samoa Joe the whole time go up to Foley and say, hey, I need competition? Jesus. And then we had Akira Tozawa versus Drew Gulak. This is a Dragon Gate USA match, made me extremely happy. The crowd are not dead. Even though this isn't in Vegas because that's Raw next week, I have no idea where we were, but they were a lot more louder than normal. Because normally I write it down where they're from, but I was finishing up the MMA AM podcast of SOS and Dion before literally the minute the show started, I finished. So I had to set it all up. So I actually missed the first actual promo. I had to go back and watch it on WWE's YouTube channel. So yeah, this was all right. Tozawa with a nice tope headbutt and a nice snap German suplex got the win. Imagine this, okay? Just calm down, relax the shoulders, okay? You're here. You've reached your destination of the Kocosports.net YouTube channel. If you've reached the destination, you can now sit back, relax, get yourself an alcoholic beverage, a hot beverage, or a fizzy beverage. One of the above. If not none, get some water, an orange juice, or a tea, or a coffee, whatever you've got. Take a sip now. Take it before I say, imagine this. Neville versus Akira Tozawa for the Cruiserweight title. Imagine that. So you have Akira Tozawa versus formerly Pac of Dragon Gate. Imagine that. Unbelievable. That would be incredible. And I actually enjoyed this. And I pray that this isn't just an unnormal crowd, because this crowd was pretty damn hot for the majority of the show, which is very strange for a Monday Night Raw crowd. But the Tozawa going, the crowd were actually getting into it and going, and actually going, ooh, for spots. And it made me happy. It put a smile on this miserable English man's face. I'm not miserable. I live in the dream. But that's a different story for a different time. Brian Kendrick comes out. He basically claps for Tozawa and leaves. Kendrick, Tozawa. Don't want to see Kendrick on my television anymore. I'm going to be brutally honest. I don't want to see him anywhere near my television anymore. I've had enough. I don't give a fuck. I think the guy's beyond boring, beyond dull, and beyond anything. I don't give a fuck. 2 stars, though, because I did quite enjoy it. And then we go to Jericho and Kevin Owens coming out. Jericho puts Tom Brady on the list. The crowd loved that. Tom Brady is an American football player, from what I'm guessing, and he was involved in the Super Bowl, not WCW, the Super Bowl last night that takes place in America once a year. It's like your World Cup, I'm guessing. That's by the way, that's for English people who don't know what American football is, because believe me, there is a lot. Jericho proposes Jericho versus Kevin Owens at WrestleMania 33, champ versus champ. The crowd actually really dug that. No loud yes chants. Goldberg interrupts. Still an incredible reaction for one Mr. Bill Goldberg. Goldberg says you either leave or fight me 2-on-1. They didn't leave, and he didn't fight, so that's already silly. Goldberg then accepts Brock's offer for a Mania match. There's our first official WrestleMania match, Brock Lesnar versus Bill Goldberg. And while we're on that note, let me put my thing there. On this show, if I'm right, last week they advertised both Brock and Goldberg on the show. Maybe. I thought so, because Brock won't be able to be on Raw next week, because Vegas, baby. You know, the commission. The Nasada. He won't be able to. Due to that. Because of the fact he's banned. Because of what he did at UFC 200. Silly boy. Then, Kevin Owens says Goldberg versus Brock will be a perfect undercard match for KO Mania 2. I really like that line. Goldberg then wants Kevin Owens at Fastlane for the Universal title. Jericho goes to put him on the list. Goldberg snatches it, puts his own name on the list. Jericho gets right in his face and says, you know what? I never liked you, and I never have. But you can go one-on-one with Kevin Owens. And then points and crowd go erupts for the Universal title, starting to build the tension with Jericho and Kevin Owens, even though they've been doing that for about 3 months. I think we're alluding to this. I think Goldberg versus Brock at Mania will be for the Universal title. I just think that. I'm guessing a lot of you do as well. But at least they can sell some network subs for Goldberg being in a title match. But surely then that leaves a predictable Goldberg-Lesnar match where either way it's a lose-lose, because we're not going to see the Universal Champ the next night on Raw. We won't. You know, it's not like we have the Money in the Bank guy to save us. Can't. That was already cashed in. I fucking who won the Money in the Bank last? I don't even give a fuck. I think it was Dangerous Dean Ambrose, that fucking imbecile. I don't know. It's really strange. Part of me absolutely fucking loved that. Another part of me despised it. And I do not understand why. I think it's because of the fact that it's the in-between show from Mania and Rumble. Normally it's the Elimination Chamber, or you get like the underdog gets that title shot. That's what I wish that pay-per-view was for. Like No Way Out 2000, you had Mick Foley. Like, he wasn't the main event star. He was a star, but he wasn't a main event guy all the time. Actually, that's a lie. He was in the Royal Rumble 2000 main event with Triple H. That's a lie. I just wish they did that. Like these shows, like last year at Roadblock, they did Dean Ambrose versus Triple H in the March one, the March Roadblock. They did Dean Ambrose versus Triple H. He wasn't a main event guy at the time, upper mid-card guy. I just wish they did that because the network is going to sell because it's the 3 month of Mania. You have to give out Goldberg and the title. The title should make the match at Mania. For instance, Randy on Bray Wyatt. That match is like, yeah, okay. But when you put the Universal title on the line, that makes you interested a lot more. Lesnar versus Goldberg is already a match with the mainstream casual appeal that doesn't need the title belt. A Kevin Owens match at Mania, in all due respect, may need the title belt to get casuals interested. Why can't you do Kevin Owens versus Chris? You know what? They might shock everyone. And we might get Kevin Owens versus Jericho at Mania for the Universal title. We might do, but the chances are very slim. Okay, don't get your hopes up on that one. And then, because Brock and Goldberg, the story is set in stone. Last time, Goldberg's won 2, and if you count the Rumble elimination, Lesnar hasn't won yet. Simple story to be told. You don't need to be difficult about it. That doesn't need the belt. Same as Taker and Cena when they want to do that. Doesn't need the belt. Taker Reigns doesn't need the belt. Sadly, if that happens, oh, Jesus Christ. The thing is, whoever Taker faces, you need to have a great worker because he's going to have to be carried. Look at the state the poor old sod was in at the fucking Rumble. He needs to be carried to a decent match. AJ Styles could carry him. Big Match John, you may hate it, but could carry him. Who else could you go? You can Nakamura, I reckon, could carry him, but it's a big ask. Roman Reigns, maybe. Jesus, every great match Roman Reigns has had, he's been with a great worker. Coincidentally, he's never with a bad worker. Who knows? And then go backstage, Kevin Owens moans at Jericho for putting him against Goldberg. Jericho says, look, don't worry, I always have your back. Then we have a Raw tag title match ends with the club defending against Cesaro and Sheamus. I'm guessing because Cesaro and Sheamus won last week. This might be their rematch on the Rumble. Either way, I couldn't give two shits. We've seen this match so many times. I'm beyond interested. And it was to the point where I was actually generally slightly happy Enzo and Cass. And believe me, that doesn't happen very often. Enzo and Cass are ringside. So the match ends when basically Gallows super kicks Enzo on the outside. And then Big Cass running Big Boots Gallows for disqualification. Of this match was because for nothing. We're obviously at Fastlane going to get a triple threat for the tag team titles between Enzo and Cass, the club, and Cesaro and Sheamus. And I think that's where Cesaro and Sheamus implode. And I think at Mania you're going to get the club versus Enzo and Cass. And I think Cesaro is going to go one-on-one with Sheamus. That's what I think. Then the New Day versus Shining Stars for some really strange reason. Was there a pre-tape in the back that I missed because I have no idea why this took place. Pre-match New Day says the resort that the Stars promote isn't real. Thank you. The crowd cares so much about this they start chanting ice cream. Bless Cole though, but bless Cole for really trying to make the Shining Stars sound credible. That's quite a fun thing to watch. It is really fun. The fuck is that? It is really fun trying to listen to a man try to make the Shining Stars sound credible. Now, I have nothing against Ibuka and Brim. I really don't. But this Shining Stars character is just completely pointless and worthless, and there is no reason for it to be happening on Monday Night Raw. There is a show dedicated to the Shining Stars, dedicated for Titus O'Neil, dedicated to Darren Young. It's called Main Event. Okay? Go on that. Don't interrupt this. Jesus wept. Then he had a backstage interview with Jericho. Jericho says that Kevin Owens is his best friend. He understands. Kevin Owens walks in, says at Fastlane he'll beat Goldberg because Jericho has his back, and I have your back against Sami Zayn next. Simple, making sure that the audience are not expecting the swerve of either Jericho turning on Owens or Owens turning on Jericho. I think they should go with Jericho turning on Owens in a good way. Have him turn face. So have Kevin Owens attack Chris Jericho, because I think there is a lot of money to be made in this last Jericho babyface. Because if he goes out a babyface, he can come back a babyface for sure. And then think about it. If Kevin Owens takes out Jericho, I think that Jericho's there till May, if I'm correct. Then he's going to start doing his Fozzy gimmick. At Extreme Rules, I'd have Kevin Owens take out Jericho to the point where I don't know if Extreme Rules is a Raw pay-per-view or not. I didn't look up because I didn't give a fuck. But have Kevin Owens take out Chris Jericho, maybe powerbomb in the apron. And then you've got an automatic match for Jericho's return. Automatic. Where were we? US title match. Jericho versus Zayn. Zayn has a title match because he beat Jericho last week on Raw. That's all it takes these days, is to beat the champion. The crowd were mega into this again. And even though it's not next week in Vegas, Raw, it's the crowd were into it. Kevin Owens super kicked Zayn behind the ref. Jericho codebreaker to get the win. A decent 10-minute match, 2 stars and a quarter. Really nothing bad here. I was a bit shocked because I was anticipating that they'll do Jericho versus Sami Zayn at the pay-per-view. Wait, this is WWE. They will do it again at the pay-per-view. They don't care if you've already seen it 15,000 times. And that's one thing that really pisses me off about WWE. The way they promote their pay-per-view matches these days is giving the exact identical match free on television. For example, if at the pay-per-view, Samoa Joe versus Roman Reigns, if that was the Fastlane main event, they would have given it away free on Raw. It just drives me insane. Then backstage, Charlotte, she finds Sasha in a trainer's room, or the hospital gimmick they have back. I don't know what you guys call it in America. And promotes, basically she's just there promoting the match against Bayley next week and just really pissing her off. I'm expecting Banks to turn on Bayley anytime soon, but the thing is, storyline 101, wrestling 101, Sasha Banks still has to get her receipt on Nia Jax. The babyface, if she gets injured, if she gets taken out, has to get the comeuppance, has to get the receipt. Otherwise, she looks silly in the angle of the story. Who am I to say? Austin Aries comes out, one of the most entertaining human beings I've ever encountered. Well, I haven't encountered him. I've ever listened to in my life. Aries announces that TJ, I'm going for a fucking pee. Tony Nese, my boy Cedric Alexander, Noam Dar, Drew Gulak, who we just saw lose to Akira Tozawa. Yet Akira Tozawa isn't in the match. Different story, different time. City fuckers. And a 5-way elimination match to determine the number one contender for the Cruiserweight Championship at Fastlane. Now, before we get down to breaking down the rest of that, because there's actually a match and a segment after that, who do we have here? We have TJ. I reckon that they're going to go with TJ Perkins versus Neville for the Cruiserweight title at Fastlane. Now, you guys know I don't like TJ Perkins. I call him TJ, I'm going for a fucking pee. I think he's really arrogant and cocky when his character is a babyface. It grinds me really the wrong way. I think he's an absolute cunt. I think he's overrated in the ring. He's solid. He's good. He's not great. I'm not a fan of TJ Perkins. I never have and never will. Neville then says they will all bow to the king. Alexander comes out. Dar comes out. He says he'll steal the title like Alicia Fox. Gallagher comes out. Nese comes out. TJ Perkins comes out. Cuts a heel promo. Give or take a heel promo. The casuals in the crowd start booing. Listen again. Rewatch that. Listen to it. You have to turn up there. There's like a few little kids booing. You could hear them booing. TJ Perkins, the number one babyface in the Cruiserweight division, got booed because of his character. Good job, TJP. I'm now going for a fucking pee, you cunt. Aries is getting pissed off, and it's hilarious. He's getting more mad and more madder at these guys interrupting and saying, this is meant to be my exclusive one-on-one interview with Neville. All 6 brawl. Nese hits a shooting star to the floor. Alexander Tope on Hilo. Neville doesn't dive, which gets some great heel heat, and I really like that. And this is how it should have ended. There should not have been the 6-man tag. That should have been it, because that made you interested and think, they just crashed a bird. I want to see these guys wrestle. I want to see all 5 of them in one ring at one time. How am I going to do that? I have to subscribe to the WWE Network, or they're actually going to have to watch 205 Live this week. That's simple. Jesus wept. And then we have a 6-man tag. Nese, Dar, Champ Neville versus TJ. I'm going for a fucking pee. Gallagher and Alexander. You don't need this 6-man tags I just mentioned. TJP goes for a springboard. Dar mid-air hits a really nice dropkick. Neville doesn't tag in again, like what happened on 205 Live. And if you're wondering every week on Wrestle AM, why don't I cover 205 Live? I covered 205 Live on my Patreon account, so check out links in the description box to my Patreon and check out. As simple as $1 per month, you get 7 exclusive podcasts per week, including classic content, retro content, me talking about my life, legit life, not pro wrestling, mixed martial arts, my actual life, and it's fucking fascinating. I went on a 15-minute rant about work last night, so check it out if you can. If not, stay subscribed here and I'll always give you content. Where are we? Alexander hits a lung bar track to get the win. I'm rooting for my boy Alexander. I know TJ Perkins is going to win because they kind of teased it during the fucking big promo there with Nese. Not Nese. Nese is very... I'm torn on Nese. I like Nese. I think he's a great wrestler. But I just think that he isn't WWE, even though he's muscly. And when you think of WWE, you think of muscle, sadly. but he just doesn't have character, bless his cotton socks. Maybe he's just still in his shell or something, but he's been doing it for long enough to the point where he shouldn't be. I don't know. Maybe he needs a mouthpiece. Maybe he needs Alicia Fox, and no one needs Alicia Fox. The only person who needs Alicia Fox is your local unemployment line. Jesus. And then we go main event time. Samoa Joe versus the big dog, Roman Reigns. Joe attacks Reigns pre-match, hit a senton on the floor. This is Joe's Raw debut. Well, if you don't count last week, his actual in-ring match debut. And it was just strange seeing Samoa Joe in a Monday Night Raw ring in the main event. The crowd were really into this. They were split 50-50, 60-40, 70-30 in favor of Joe because there was kids and women. Reigns hit a Superman punch. It looked like Reigns was going to win until Braun Strowman comes out. Reigns hit Strowman. Joe with a really nice spinning Uranagi, aka a spinning rock bottom, to get the win. Post-match, Strowman hits a running power slam, a stair shot to the head, and a power slam through the barricade to win that 2.5 star. The main event was all right. Bill Strowman versus Samoa Joe needs to be a last man standing match so that they can protect Strowman. Because how about this? This is what can happen. Strowman is going to look like an absolute fucking monster, okay, heading into Fastlane. He's going to lose to Roman Reigns because they have to have Roman Reigns look strong before The Undertaker at WrestleMania 33. And then what's going to happen is Strowman's going to be left to do nothing at Mania. And then after Mania, they're going to forget about him. And he can't have a title shot because the champion will be Brock Lesnar or Goldberg, and they're not doing anything apart from masturbating in their big house. Unbelievable. Raw was a tie. I enjoyed the Goldberg segment. The main event was all right. The actual cruiserweight division actually got interesting for once. I enjoyed the US title match for what it was worth. Shocked Jericho won, but that's a different story for a different time. It was okay. It really, really was. And I'll be getting to your live comments in a bit. I'm going to talk a little bit about news. The Rock and Roll Express will be inducted into the 2017 Hall of Fame class. Great news. I'll be joining Kurt Angle. Great news. I'll be interested to see who else they have announced. And I always look forward to the Hall of Fame. We don't cover it on the channel because what's the point of covering it? But I am very excited and happy that the Rock and Roll Express, and if you go to Kocosports.net, there's an in-depth article with all the bio of the greatest moments kind of the Rock and Roll Express. So go over there now and check it out, and you'll be able to read it out. I posted it myself. And then viewership for last week's edition of TNA Impact Wrestling, the Open Fight Night edition. And if you haven't already, me and Booms reviewed that on last Thursday's edition of Wrestle AM. It drew 299,000, which is down from 307,000, which was the Genesis episode the week before. And they're at, give or take, the 300,000 mark. It's really not that bad of a number. It's really not that bad. It's just now they've been on Pop. They've had the resurgence, new Anthem ownership. I really was thinking that, okay, now it's time to, stop this bullshit. Now let's get knuckled down on numbers. The show is pretty damn good. Me and Booms both gave this week's edition a strong week win, sorry. So there was nothing wrong with Impact. It's people deciding not to watch it for various reasons. I don't know if there was a football game, a basketball game, fucking anything on American television of any relevance, but 299, not the worst number, but not the best. Pretty damn sad. And here's an interesting one. This is from, I hate giving out fucking website names, but I'm using e-wrestling news. I never do that. No affiliation at all. It's just, if you think this is bullshit, dude, and this will not get posted on Kocosports.net. You get Combat Sports news, okay? The Rock and Roll Express into Hall of Fame is news, okay? Not this, okay? So this site says that the WWE sent out local alerts over the weekend that Cena will face AJ Styles and Miz will wrestle Dean Ambrose on SmackDown. That's advertising for the SmackDown, which comes to the point of they've announced heavily during Raw on the commercials and on the social media that John Cena, the WWE champ, will be facing Randy Orton. Maybe that match won't take place. Maybe AJ will interrupt saying he wants his one-on-one rematch. Maybe. Maybe I'm looking a bit too much into this, but maybe it actually won't take place. Maybe it's just, Cena and Orton are two big stars, and people actually think, oh my God, SmackDown, Cena and Orton are on it as big stars, I'll check it out. Maybe that's what will happen. I pray that it wasn't non-selling, because believe it or not, you may hate me for this, but, it's been like over a year, maybe 2 years since we've seen Cena and Orton. And you guys know, I like Big Match John, I respect, I love, if you build a sports entertainer from the ground up, you get my boy Randy Orton. As long as it's not a Mania, I have no issue with it being on SmackDown. It's going to draw a good number. I'm not no fool. It's good business. Simple. I guarantee you that SmackDown last week, I think it did 2.6 million. I guarantee it'll do 2.85. That's my prediction. 2.85 with Cena and Orton in the main event. And they heavily promoted it during Raw, maybe even more. But I think we're going to get Luke Harper versus Randy Orton at Chamber. So I think Harper's going to get involved in this somewhere. What else have we got? Elimination Chamber card. That's coming up this Sunday. So far, we know Nikki Bella and Natalya. The Elimination Chamber match itself. I think we'll get Orton versus Harper. I think we'll get Naomi versus Alexa Bliss for the SmackDown Live Women's Championship. I think we'll get... what else? What else? There was another women's rivalry. There was that Mickie James and Becky Lynch. I think that'll be pre-show. Or no, maybe Nikki Bella and Natalya will be pre-show. Nah, it's the pre-show. Apollo Crews is there. That poor boy. Apollo Crews, Dolph Ziggler. That's got pre-show written all over it. Those poor bastards. I don't see the point of the pre-show. They do nothing for anyone. Getting to some live comments now. Oh, we have loads of live comments. That makes me extremely happy because I'm solo today. Tyler Dillon says that crowd was fucking shit. Maybe I was hearing different things through my headphones. Tyler Dillon says Strowman slamming Reigns through the barricade was nice. I gave Raw a loss. Joe looks fucking weak. TJ Perkins seems like a douchey teen. Thank you. He does. He looks like an absolute imbecile. Joe got the win. So on paper, you won't look back on this as, oh, it was into it. It'll be, okay, Samoa Joe defeated Roman Reigns. That's what you look back on it. You know, it wasn't a Finn Balor defeating Reigns on Raw by any stretch of the imagination, but it still wasn't bad. And I agree with TJ Perkins. The power slam through the barricade was nice. I do agree with you on that. Just let me close that off and let me load that up. Apologies. Edward Mahan says Goldberg is going to win the title. Brock getting the strap at Mania. Yeah, that's probably it. True. I do generally believe that Goldberg will get the win at Fastlane. Kevin Owens, Jericho at Mania, maybe for the US strap. And then you can do Brock beat Goldberg. But then what's Brock going to do? Because Brock's not just good. I don't want my world champ. And I know it's a different... Back in the day, it was like, oh, champions weren't always on the television show, but dude, it'll be like 6 months till we see the fucker again at SummerSlam time. I want my championship defended because back in the day, you'd trust the booker to come up with great non-championship rivalries. I can't trust them to come up with shit. I can't trust them to do anything. Tyler Dillon says, line of the night, here comes Tony Nese's abs from Austin Aries. Can't wait to see Owens and Jericho's live sex celebration. Koco says, weak tie just seemed completely average. Completely agree with you there, my friend. Edward Mahan says, LOL. Billy Falco, I'm interested to see what happens with the Goldberg title match. Does Owens get squashed? If not, what does that say for Brock? Exactly. They got to be careful because, like you said, if Goldberg does not, like, he goes 15, 20 minutes, like a proper Universal title match, that makes Brock look like a fucking joke. Or does Brock screw Goldberg out of the Universal title match? So now you got a pissed off and angry Goldberg heading into WrestleMania. But then, you know, I've said this so many times on this show now. The title does not need to be on the line with Goldberg and Brock. The match itself, Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar, sells the tickets, not Goldberg-Brock because of the Universal title. Silly. Tyler Dillon says, I hope Owen DQs himself. They're pretty funny. Andy Paps Baby says Raw was okay. The crowd was dead. You see, maybe I had my headphones on just a little bit too loud, but for me, it actually sounded like the crowd were mega into it. We should see Big Show versus Strowman. That's from Edward Mahan. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see Big Show in a ring again. I don't care what size he is. I'm not going to bullshit you. I have zero interest in a Big Show. But to be honest, I have zero interest in most WWE matches. It's my fault for watching too much other good wrestling. It is my fault. Tyler Dillon says, might as well do my catchphrase also. Tie-dye, baby. I really hope Fastlane doesn't suck. That's from Andy Paps. That's fair. It will. No. Looks like we're getting Gallagher versus Neville. Maybe, but I thought that they're keeping Gallagher out of the title picture. That's what I heard from Dirty Dave Meltzer a while back. Antium Bishop says, Austin Aries and Y2J, unsung heroes tonight. Joe was good. Him beating Roman was good for storybuilding with Braun. As for the setups to Fastlane, meh. Tozawa's debut was cool. The Portland crowd was blah. Portland. That's where we fucking well, because you know it's Vegas next week. I swear, if we get that spinny fucking wheel, oh, please, no one mention this. No one mention this to anyone. This spinny wheel gimmick, I cannot stand that. Silly. Tozawa is amazing. Tyler Dillon, I want to punch all those people cheering Roman, even those little kids. Mr. Burker says, what's up, people? Angie and Bishop says, and the rating was a very weak tie. That's what I give it. Tom Brady is God. As I'm tired. Andy Paps, let's be glad they didn't give the Japanese guy dubbed English speaking when they say evil. And indeed, wait, England doesn't know the Super Bowl is even with the NFL London game everywhere. Right, dude. This is a good little side topic. With NFL, it's on Sky Sports, same time as WWE airs. Numbers are suck. It's just because it has a London game once a year, and that building does sell out, and it's a good sized building. During the Super Bowl, I did not have one single person at work, not one customer, not member of staff, not my friends when I went out, not my family, talk about the Super Bowl. I checked up the news, nothing about the Super Bowl. I promise you, the NFL is nothing in England. Right? There may be people in London who care because there's a stadium. In the south of England, like right at the south where I am, we could give two shits about NFL. This is, I will never come on here and do an American football show. I wouldn't even come on here and do a soccer show. A soccer, as you Americans call it. It's not big over here. Like, it's like me thinking that because football's so big in England, it's bigger, even though it's big in Spain, it's big in France, it's big in, kind of big in America now of your league, Brazil, Mexico. But I know that not every American will know about football. I could literally tell you no players apart from Tom Brady, the New England Patriots, Green Bay Packers, because Mr. Anderson kept tweeting about it one time, Chicago Bears, that might be hockey. Like, dude, literally in England, it gets coverage at 1 a.m. in the morning on a channel you have to pay for. It's not, I don't mean to burst your bubble, and don't mean to be offensive, it's just big, NFL fans. I'm not being offensive at all. It's just in England, at least where I am, no one watches it. No one. Goldberg is like the dad that you don't want your friends to meet. That's from Tyler Dillon. He just tells the kids you're next. Mr. Biker with Raw was mad. Samoa Joe's fun to see debut. Jericho versus Zayn was cool. I agree. Andy Pep says I won $800 in my Super Bowl pool. I keep calling it Super Bowl. It's because I just did a Monday Night Raw series. Oh, jeez. I won $800 in my Super Bowl pool. It's quite funny. Andy Paps says, I've been a Smojo fan since 2005. Tyler Dillon, I missed the first hour. Mr. Biker, I'm quitting WWE after WrestleMania. I would too, my friend, if I could. Edward Mahan. Tyler Brady is on the list. Dean Ambrose is fucking awesome. I hope they don't waste him in some ladder match opening the show. I think that, how about this? I generally think this. They're going to do Dean Ambrose versus Baron Corbin at WrestleMania for the IC title. And I think Corbin's going over. I generally think that. Mr. Bioko says, I've been a Smojo fan since around then too. His TNA work was breathtaking, agreed. Back when Impact was great. Tyler Dillon says, I'm going to WrestleMania. I'm going to strike and jump the barrier during the Goldberg and Lesnar match. Do it. Just make sure you're wearing a Kocosports shirt. Mr. Bioko says, I saw one of his 2 matches in RH when the wrestling channel was running in the UK. Oh, dude, that was fucking amazing, that channel. I was like 10 at the time, and it was like fucking Japanese wrestling on. Oh, mate, I wish that channel was around now. If that channel was around now. But it's all online now, isn't it? It's all online. I cannot tell you that, like, I watched the UFC Fight Night prelims, early prelims, the whole show on the laptop. I watch New Japan World on the laptop. I just watch Monday Night Raw on the laptop. Tomorrow I'll watch SmackDown Live on the laptop. Wednesday I'll watch NXT on the laptop. Wednesday I'll also watch the UWF show that I'm reviewing exclusively for Show because he's a Patreon pledger. Loads of things are on the laptop. Brock Goldberg don't need to fight over the belt, agreed. The Jangles clan, what's the difference between a good worker and a bad worker? Well, you could just tell the difference. It's simple. You can just tell a guy's work. Like, for instance, a good worker, if you look up, just literally right now, look up Kazuchika Okada versus Minoru Suzuki from Saturday's show, A New Beginning in Sapporo. He went from 1 month prior going in a 40-minute storytelling spot fest with Kenny Omega to wrestling a psychology-based storytelling clinic, technical clinic with psychology and selling. You look at a Roman Reigns match, he no-sells the shit out of the pre-match injury, okay? He has the Superman punch and the spear, okay? They're cool moves. Okay, but if he goes in there with a not very good worker, he ain't gonna look good, is he? And yeah, I'm not one to tell you who's a good worker and who's a bad worker. It's just, in my opinion, every single match that Reigns has, he's with an incredibly talented pro wrestler, and coincidentally, they're great matches. You know, they always gave him, you know, Daniel Bryan. They always gave him CM Punk, even in the Shield. They always gave him a great worker. It's not rocket. If you work with great, I could go in there and have a good match with Dolph Ziggler. Well, not Dolph Ziggler. I could go in and have a good match with Daniel Bryan. I could. You could. It's just fucking. I know it's a tough question, but I don't know. It's difficult to explain. Other than SmackDown, I'm enjoying TNA more than WWE again. Yeah, Impact's been pretty damn good. NXT weekly shows are boring. I only watch the takeovers. Same. Andy Paps says TNA has been a lot better. Agreed. Ante and Bishop, LK being a bit savage with this review tonight. Nah, maybe. I don't know. Last week, please bring back the Raw Roulette next week. Oh, please don't. Tyler Dillon says, I want to see Jericho and Owens walk up the ramp like how Owens and Zayn were going up the ramp, and Owens put his hand on Jericho, but Jericho shoves him like he knows what Owens is going to do. That would be really cool. That would be great storytelling. Mr. Boyko, now with that witch Dixie Carter no longer owns TNA, I'm so happy. Jeff Jarrett and Dutch Mantel back as writers, which should be a bonus. I am such a big fan of Jeff Jarrett and Dutch Mantel's version of TNA back in the day. I really, really am, and I'm happy they're back in charge. When Owens turned on Zayn, couldn't fit it because of character limit. Andy Papp says they need to revamp the tag division and X division. This is Impact talk. I completely agree. I think they should just have a show completely for X division now. Just one, not like a separate show. I mean, just like one show, like the X Division the Extravaganza. Like they did the episode of Genesis. I think it'd be really cool if they did that kind of episode. I think that would really work, because then they could just rebuild that. Maybe the same for the tag. Maybe do a tag team tournament and then establish teams. Go out and sign talent. You have to spend millions of fucking dollars. You can go out there and you could just sign several guys. You sign. Go on your indies. Go to Florida. Or, you know, you got Jeff Jarrett who's doing loads of indie work. You know, why don't you go out there and find the best exhibition style wrestlers? Go out there and find some great tag teams that can come and work for you, that aren't very well known, but make them well known. Establish them. It may take a year, it may take 2 years, but who gives a fuck? You have time. Bring back the open door policy. Elimination Chamber will be better than Fastlane. I agree. I want to see Kevin Kelly. I said Kelly. I want to see Kevin Kelly as lead announcer in TNA. Agreed. Tyler Dillon, Alicia Fox. Heavy J says, I'm only the one who wants to hit TJ. Am I the only? No, I want to hit TJ. I'm going for a fucking pee in the face too. Don't you worry. I love the Samoa Joe match, but they couldn't let Roman Reigns lose clean. Agreed. Andy Powers, Kevin Kelly and Al Snow on. Oh, that would be amazing. Get rid of Josh Matthews. Like, he apparently runs ImpactWrestling.com. That site is abysmal. Shit. Kocosports.net is 10 times better than Impact Wrestling. If you load it up on one tab, Kocosports.net, you load up on one tab, ImpactWrestling.com, and I guarantee you Kocosports.net would load faster than ImpactWrestling.com. Commentary, Pope as Moose's manager, and Josh can go back and help out. I completely agree. And we said this on Wrestle AM on Thursday. It might have been Andy Paps as well. You said it, but we'll talk about that in great detail, and it damn should be. Neville is amazing. Josh is a fucking little cunt. Wow. He can make coffee. We need more Drew Gulak. Agreed. Josh Matthews should be backstage or completely off camera. There's no need for him. He can be backstage like the little bitch he used to be. I want to see Pope in ring again. Should have been a TNA World Champion. He won back at Against All Odds 2010. He won that 8-man tournament, went on to lockdown and lost to AJ. That made no fucking sense, but fucking hell. Congrats to Rock and Roll Express. That's from Edward Mahan. He also says, finally we get to see Emelina. That TP is next week. And I read online that apparently the time that she was injured was nearly as long as the time she hasn't appeared. That's insane. Maybe she's sucking Zack Ryder's cock or something. Jay Rhodey says they have already killed the Lesnar Goldberg story. The fact that he's owned Lesnar in the fashion that he has makes him look like dog shit. Yeah, there's only a certain amount of times you can say, look, that's Brock Lesnar, that is going to work, but Brock's going to get his receipt again. Storytelling. He's going to get his receipt at fucking Mania. Edward Mahan, 205 Live sucks. Andy Pap says SmackDown is just better than Raw. Agreed. The Cruiserweight experiment in WWE has failed. Agreed. What happened to the Brian Kendrick? He can fucking suck my cock. That's what he can do. X Division is better than a Cruiserweight Championship. Don't watch TNA because it's boring. Check it out. Hashtag fuck the Super Bowl from Gary North. Andy Paps loves his Manchester United. How does a women's elimination chamber for the women? I think they should do that. And I think I asked for that. Vouched for it anyway. After the Royal Rumble during the six woman tag. Sorry, I'm shocked that they didn't do that. I really am. I enjoy European football a lot. That's from Andy Paps. SmackDown Tag Team Ladder match at Mania 33. Oh, Jesus Christ. Guy on Internet doesn't live reviews. Open Fight Night had 299k down from 307. That's 8k. Let's see how LK will run this into time for TNA to panic rant. I did not say it's time for TNA to panic. I generally did. If anyone take the clip where I said TNA's panicking, I never said that at all. Don't put words in my mouth. You comment on every single video that I'd cover Impact. Like you go around. If this is what this guy wants. Impact was amazing. Oh my God, it was such an amazing. Lashley EC3 in that last man standing, 5-star clinic. Josh Matthews and the Pope. What an amazing commentary team. It's just music to my ears. There's music to my ears, and there's a reason why you're not doing the weekly Impact Wrestling review on Kocosports anymore. And I wonder why. Oh, I hate you, YWC. Jesus, sweat. I've been in a negative mood today. I was a bit of a douche on the MMA review. I don't give a fuck anymore. I'm annoyed of just being all Mr. Nice. Mr. Nice Guy doesn't get you shit. Sometimes you got to be an arsehole. And I don't give a fuck. Sometimes it's good to be an arsehole, and I had to let that out. That's been building up and building up. Worry. I remember back in the day that titles had to defend every 30 days. That's from Edward. Yeah, it was back in the day, wasn't it? Times have changed. What can you do about it? Heavy J, all I want for Christmas is Cesaro versus Shibata. Wouldn't that be absolutely incredible? Wouldn't that be an absolutely phenomenal match? That you could just, I could watch them just uppercut each other, uppercut for about 5 minutes straight without being bored. Dude, Chicago Bears are football. I'm guessing that's American football. An elimination chamber match for the women, it could be a good idea. Andy Papp says, we need more AJ Styles. Mr. Biker says, AJ Styles is God. Andy Papp says, AJ Styles for president. Mr. Biker says, Samoa Joe is Jesus. And then Andy Papp says, that guy is a clown. That Andy Paps was talking about was the guy who, I don't even want to give him any publicity, to be fair, because he does it every single time. It's just silly. Like, come on. Just because it's Impact Wrestling in the title doesn't mean I bash it. If he didn't realize every week, and you guys can testament to this, every week on Thursday, I come on and I put over Impact Wrestling. Every week. I think one show in the past 3 months I didn't enjoy. I'm honest, if I didn't enjoy, I'm not going to... why would... Unless I'm being paid... If TNA started paying me a lot of money, I would come out here and suck cock. Unless, if you're a reviewer out here and you suck a company's cock, what's the point? Unless you're gaining money from it, is there really a reason? Like, there's WWE bashers, not bashers, like WWE cocksuckers. Like, they think they're going to get a job at WWE for just, oh no, Raw's amazing. Dude, you won't. Like, TNA's amazing. They'll notice me. They might give me a shout out. Yeah, they may do that. But is it worth your dignity? When they're bad, admit they're bad. When Ring of Honor's bad, we say they're bad. I'm wearing a Ring of Honor hat, and I bashed them for the past 2 weeks. Constantly. You can love something, but support it. You know, we'll talk American football. If I'm a Green Bay Packers fan and they've been shit recently, am I going to go, I'm not watching this? No. Am I going to go to my friends and say, no, Green Bay Packers are awesome? I'm going to say, no, they suck, but that's my team. I believe in that team. I believe in each of those players, and I want them to succeed. They will succeed, and watch them. TNA fans, as simple as this. If you're getting, everyone's hating on me because I just say TNA is good, I go like this. I say, look, TNA is a good show. Impact Wrestling, what do you want to call it? Impact Wrestling is a good show. It is a great show. I enjoy it. I think it's really good. If you don't like it, that's fine. That's your opinion, and you probably didn't watch it. But don't come onto my channel and say I bury it When I don't bury it and I put it over. It's just enough is enough, and I've had enough, and the block button's going to come out soon. I don't give a fuck. It's consistent, and it drives me up the wall. Watch something, no matter what color the ropes are. No matter, like for instance, New Japan, I didn't put everything over. I hated the fucking tag match. Yes, I gave the main event with Suzuki and Okada 5 stars, but that's a different story. That was amazing. If Impact had the exact same match in the exact same ring, it would have been the exact same rating. Jesus. We'll see if there's any more live comments. This has been fun. I've enjoyed this a lot. This has been very fun. I've generally enjoyed this a lot. Oh, where were we? Let's get some live comments going. Ba-ba-da-bum. And then there'll be a dislike on the video because he would have disliked it. It'll be funny. Come on, load, you fucking disgraceful cunt. Sorry about this, AJ. My friend's been a bit of an arsehole when it comes to... And it just decides to just not fucking work. Come on, you toilet. Yeah, there's the dislike. I was waiting for it. Oh, what we got here? He got his future endeavors. Okay, I'm going to send you a link to the American sports pages. Dude, if you did, I would check it out. I guess you're going to send it to me on Facebook. I have no idea what goes on in America. So there's hockey, there's American football. I have no clue what goes on in American sports. I just don't follow it. I don't have the time. I have to do, like, you got to remember in between, like, I do this show right now. It's 4:58 a.m. I've got to go to bed, wake up about 2. Then I've got to be, spend time with my girlfriend tomorrow because we both got a day off work. So 2 till like 8, maybe 9, maybe 10. And then I got to update Kocosports.net. And then I watch MMA AM, watch some pro wrestling, Wrestle AM, bed. Like, there's not much really time for me to cover sports or watch sports. But I would follow sports in a way, like I'd like keep an eye out or watch little clips on Facebook. So sure, send me it. Raw, 6 out of 10. That's fair. Mr. Biker says, I'm looking for the TNA UK tour. I enjoyed the RH UK tour. I got a photo with JD Full, shook Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian's hands. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there is a UK tour. Because normally they do the UK tour in January. Because I remember I went to one in 2010. My main event was AJ Styles versus Nigel McGuinness for the TNA World title. Unreal. It's like January the 22nd, 2010 at the BIC. Absolutely incredible match. Unbelievable. Is it time for the Briscoes to jump from RH to WWE? The thing is, though, that's always been talked about, but would it really... Like, they're ROH guys. They're going to stay there for life. Like, I'd be shut. And what are they doing, WWE? The tag team division is so worthless right now. They have the New Day, Enzo and Cass. They'll go to NXT, spend some time there, get moved up and be nothing. Mr. Bike says, or on NXT, yes. Who will be the new Ring of Honor announcers? I know that it was Silas Young and the guy who normally calls the Women of Honor shows. He moved up. That was because I saw a picture of it on Ring of Honor's Twitter account. Not because I watched the show, because the shows are so far dated. Kevin Kelly will be commentating for the next 2 years. And Andy Paxton, last comment of the night, says, I'm kind of shocked TNA didn't announce a UK tour. How about this? People think that TNA is big in the UK. It was on a channel where every single person who owned a television set, every person who owned a television set had access to TNA. It was in the top 50 channels. And you know what number it did? About 100,000 a week, less than the American one. No word of a lie. They gave out the pay-per-views for free, and they did 100,000. It's not the difference between English TNA fans and the Americans is that English would go to the shows and pay for it because they didn't have to pay for the pay-per-views. That's why. You get it for free all the time. So that's probably why. They didn't have to spend money on Pop TV because they had the money to buy on the tickets because they already got it for free. But I'm not saying TNA is not big in the UK. It is big, and it wasn't really a big miss for most people because it aired 4 days late. Like, for instance, Impact happened on Thursday. It would air on Challenge TV, which is the station it was on a Sunday. That's no good to me. I need to review it that night to get the most maximum viewership out of it. It fucked me. I used to watch when I was younger on Challenge, and the adverts were just really poorly. You could tell a non-wrestling fan was excuse me. You could tell a non-wrestling fan was putting the adverts in because you'd be right in the middle of a good match on pay-per-view, and it'd cut to a break. Every 20 minutes there'll be a break, and it'll piss you off so much. One more check of live comments, and then that'll do for me tonight. Where were we? I hate those hillbilly fucks. Are Evolve and PWG good? Yeah, Evolve are good. And or hate PWG, sorry. If you love pure Spot Fest and just a fun crowd and a fun atmosphere, check out PWG. I don't cover it because I refuse to pay the price of like $20 to get a DVD. If they had a PWG network, not the, you know what I'm saying, like the Progress, like the Rev Pro, if they had their own network on the laptop, on the internet, I would get it. Mr. Burger says, I need more non-WWE alternatives. You have New Japan Pro Wrestling, you have Impact Wrestling, you have Ring of Honor, you have Evolve, which is on Flow Slam. If you're into mixed martial arts, get into mixed martial arts. I've joined Kocosports full-time. Like, I'm exclusive Kocosports, can't do nothing else. Exclusive Kocosports. I'm on the website, I'm on the YouTube, I do their Facebook page, I'm on the Twitter. I'm Kocosports through and through. When I bleed, red and blue comes out for Kocosports. Then decide, okay, if I'm covering combat sports, like, I should know my MMA, which is why MMA AM is produced. And if you're new to MMA, so am I. I've been watching MMA for about 2 weeks. Okay, so if you're new to MMA, watch the shows, listen to my reviews, because you'll have the same opinion as me, because we're both new to the sport. And I always have a co-host on who's an experienced MMA fan, a hardcore fan, so that they can tell me where to go from. Andy Papp says, Andy Papp's an okay for RH commentary team. Dude, if they pay for my travel and pay me, I'm in, but you're going to have to pay me. Andy Papp says, I paid when TNA came to New York City. That's fair. That's fair. Good for you, Andy Paps. Proud of you. Maybe you snuck in. I think that I reckon you got paid VIP to go backstage. No, the thing is, though, I wasn't saying that, that American fans don't pay. I'm just saying that's the difference between UK fans. They don't watch the show, but they go to the show live because it's wrestling. It's like, a big TV deal. Like, if you announce Kurt Angle and Hulk Hogan on a billboard, it's going to be there. And just let me check my phone. I have a really funny picture of where the TNA advertised their picture, their photo. Just let me get it. It's not on it. Yeah, here it is. Right. This is the back alley of the London Wembley Arena, which is where TNA last had their tapings. It was a dodgy wall that was battered and bruised. And that was the TNA taping there on the fucking wall. It looked abysmal. It looked really bad. It looked fucking horrendous. Like, your marketing is getting a poster and just sticking it on any random wall isn't going to do good enough. Edward Mahan said they should also have a 20-woman Royal Rumble. I agree with that. And then he also says, what about a Miss Money in the Bank? I like that idea. They could do a ladder match. I really like that. I wish they do. They should. What else have we got here? Mr. Bogus says, I didn't realize today that the Brothers Chicago mayor brought UFC. Yeah, they bought that ages ago, wasn't it? It was a long time ago that they bought that. Incredible. But yeah, thank you everyone for the live comments. I appreciate you guys kept me company today. Thanks for checking out today's edition of Wrestle AM. Tomorrow it'll be myself, Booms, and Sammy for Wrestle AM. We're going to talk about SmackDown Live. Also, we're going to cover the Pro Wrestling news, and we'll be live as soon as SmackDown Live goes off the air. So check out there. In the meantime, check out MMA AM, check out Wrestle AM yesterday for the Minoru Suzuki versus Okada, me crying and marking out like a little bitch. Today's Raw is a week tie. Thank you all for joining me. Appreciate it a lot. From the boy, okay, we won't take shit no more. Make sure you stay safe. Make sure you stay well. And I'll be catching your asses down the line.